Faster Fluency Conversation Club podcast, Gratitude. What are you thankful for?
Welcome to the Faster Fluency Conversation Club podcast by Business English with Christina. If you want to be confident speaking English, network with professionals around the world, and practice speaking to become fluent faster, join us. We have 9 conversation sessions every week. Plus, podcast listeners get a 50% discount on the first month of membership with the discount code FFCC50. The link to join is in the show notes. Now, let's go.
Hey, this is Christina, and we're back for another episode of the Faster Fluency Conversation Club podcast. I love today's topic because it's something that I do every day, which is gratitude. Not every day. I try to do it every day. Gratitude. Anyway, Linda, we're here with Linda today. Linda, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good. And you?
Yeah, doing well. Looking forward to today's topic where we're talking about, what are you thankful for? This episode is coming out at the beginning of November, which of course in the US is the month of Thanksgiving. So it's a good time to think about, what we are grateful for, what we want to give thanks for. And so we're going to talk about that. But I guess maybe before we talk about like what we are grateful for, thankful for, I guess, do you have any kind of gratitude practice, Linda, or not so much?
Kind of. So, I almost jumped in right away when you doubted yourself for using it every day, because I think you do. And I think I do too, because I think that it's a mindset. And that as you try to bring more positivity into your life, your outlook and the way you view your life, you try to find the good in the small things and try to always, even when something bad happens, try to find something that you can learn from so that there's a positive from the negative. So I would like to amend and change your statement back to what you originally said, because I think it's probably accurate, because in some ways it's a choice. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a choice of outlook, I would say. Like if you're kind of, in a funk or something, like things are going badly and, it just seems like nothing's going the way that you want to, and you're just feeling really down. Like you said, either you can let that really get to you and just be very negative about everything. And so, nothing's going right. And no matter what I do, I can't do this. I can't find the time, blah, 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 blah. And really just sort of like get into this really funk, I would say, like bad state mentally. But I would say, we all have periods of our life like that. And when that does happen, like, I think I like to think that I know myself now after years of running a business, that I'll be in this funk for something. Let's say something bad happens. I'll be in a funk for 3 days. And then I'm like, all right, how am I going to cope with this? Okay, so what can I do? I can sit down and like literally write out, like my 3 things I'm grateful for each day. But generally what happens is I'll like say to myself, all right, Christina, this has happened. You got to deal with it. What are you going to do to make it better? And I think it is like that sort of mindset of looking for, how can I move forward? How can I make it possible? How can I find the positive thing? And I do think that, having a gratitude practice can really help you to cope with those really sort of bleak moments.
So what do you typically do when you're having a funk, or when things look particularly bleak? How do you cope? What have you learned about yourself? What works for you?
So I learned that like, it's just like, I know that I'm going to sort of like pass through like the dark valley or something. I don't know if we call it that, but it's like, I know that I'm going to have 2 or 3 days where I'm just going to be like, I want to stop everything. Nothing's working. I don't understand how to do anything. I can't make anything work. Like, I just know that emotion is going to be there. Yep. And I just have to like sit with it and let it pass.
It is what it is. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Go with it. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Exactly. And I think it's important. Some people are like good vibes only, and I'm like, no, like negative things happen in life. You have to learn to be comfortable with that negativity or that funk or that. You just have to learn to like sort of accept it. Like I don't know if which I don't wish on anyone, but when someone dies, you have that period of mourning. You have to accept it and you have to welcome it, and know that you're going through it and not try to be happy all the time. And that's okay. So I'll just like, okay, this is the bad period. And then what really helps me is like when I like literally sit down and just kind of journal, like, this is what's happening. This is what I want to do to fix it. Here's a list of bullet points of steps I can take. And I feel like that helps me to cope with it, because then I'm like, now this is the action that I have to get out of the dark valley of death or something like that.
It amuses me that this is what you're saying, because all of the things that you just listed are things that they talk about in psychological research, right? So that the cycle that you go through when someone dies, you do the same thing when something bad happens in your life.
Okay, interesting.
You go through mourning because you anticipated a certain outcome and the outcome didn't happen. So you have to readjust your plan for your future, the thing you imagine for yourself. So you go through a death. It's a death of a future that you lost.
Very interesting. So it's like, you imagine this, I don't know, this project or this result. It didn't happen. So it's like the death of that thing. Correct. And so your mind kind of goes through those same mechanisms, maybe at a different level, but the same
100%, not the same, but the same process. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
But then also, more of this, the psych research talks about how journaling is one of the best ways to process through that. So all of the advice that you're giving is scientifically backed. So good job.
Yay. Thank you, science, for backing my behavior. I appreciate that.
But I also would like to add that I don't know about for you, but probably it seems universal. That when I think of the times that I've grown and I've changed and I've improved and liked myself more after, it's after difficult times. So it's almost like I allow myself to be grateful afterwards, even though I went through something horrible, because the new me, the new version is so much better. And I know myself better and I've grown and I trust myself. And even if it's something bad, that experience teaches you something, and so you can be thankful for that bad experience. So instead of avoiding the bad, like you said, you embrace it, and as you get older, you realize that it's like they say, you can't have light without the dark, right? That kind of thing where having something bad happens helps you to be more grateful for the good.
Exactly. No, I think that's right. And it's like you said, the part about, when you go through the difficult times, then you come out sort of like stronger and more self-aware. And I think just like being able to acknowledge that. And if you know that, like that also, I think is something that can help you to get through those negative times, because even though you're struggling with let's say the negative or the bad emotions, let's just call them, you're going through that. But if you can say, all right, I know this is hard and I really don't like it. But I also know that after I get through this difficult moment, I know that I'm going to be stronger and better and wiser. And I feel like having just knowing that can also help you to have, I don't want to say like a positive attitude, because you don't always have to have a positive attitude. But that it can help you to manage the negativity that you're feeling, and to not let it consume you.
You said that journaling is something that works for you, and I work with a therapist because I'm always trying to improve myself, and she's been encouraging me to journal more. In the past, journaling has helped me, so it's great advice. But for example, for you, myself as well, but even more so for you since you're a business owner, how do you find time to devote to that practice?
So I've like I said, when I said earlier, I said, oh, I don't do gratitude every day. I meant like I don't sit down and do my gratitude journaling every day. But I do, like, I'm just like, I actually I went and I pulled out my gratitude journal, which you guys can't see on the podcast, but I just showed it to Linda. But you don't see that on an audio podcast. And so I went this week, I've had last Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So it seems to be about every other day. But what I do have is I do it in the morning. And so my journal is literally like here at the spot where I have my breakfast.
Okay.
So that even,
you pair it with a different task so that you're sure that you can do it. Yeah. It's again, scientifically proven to be a good practice. Good job.
Habit stacking, they call it. I eat breakfast every day. Which is just a habit that I do it. I don't have to think about it. So I just have my journal like literally sitting where it's in arm's reach. So I don't even have to like turn around and pull it off the shelf. It's just I have to reach my arm out and open the book. I have a pen which is attached to the book. And that way the idea is that, hey, maybe even if I'm super pressed for time, maybe I can at least write one bullet point, or at least maybe I can think about it. I might not take the time to write it out, but at least even seeing that, the gratitude journal, I'm like, oh yeah, what am I thankful for today? The fact that I have a house that no one is bombing, for example. And just thinking about that. And I'm like, wow, like I'm really fortunate, because a lot of people, that's not the case,
I thought about that today as well as I was watching my news reports. Same thing. Can't imagine. It made me grateful for my own situation.
Exactly.
And a lot of other feelings, but it definitely made me appreciate even more my current situation. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So I would say that, it really can have I'd say just taking a moment, whether it's a formal moment of like sitting down to journal, or if it's just remembering to be thankful for something, it can make a big difference in your life. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Linda. Thank you for sharing the scientific research there. That is really interesting. And have a good day. And thank you for your podcast participation. All right. Thanks,
you
Linda.
too. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening this week. If you want to do more than just listen, and you want to practice speaking vocabulary and get the confidence in English that you need for your career, become a member of the Faster Fluency Conversation Club today. And if you want to try the club, we'll give you a guest invitation to a free first session so that you can see for yourself how awesome this club is. To arrange your guest invitation, email us at contact@ChristinaRubafe.com and just ask. We'll take care of you.